In 2017, over 6,000 stores in total have closed across various retail platforms. Amazon Prime memberships are in 50% of all homes in the U.S., and experts predict that within 10 years, another 300 malls will close. That's 25% of all malls nationwide. The only sounds left in this mall are the buzzing of the fading neon lights. The only footsteps are of the few dedicated workers who clean the glass as if opening day is upon us. But those days are gone, and the customers have all faded away.
Could you maybe explain a little bit about the opening schedule of the mall? I've heard it's supposed to take place in a couple of phases.
We are shooting for an opening date of September of 1988. At that point in time, the entire mall will be open. There may be a midpoint opening, or what we call a soft opening, sometime in June of 1988. That basically is what the construction work is targeted for. We do hope to have all of the exterior construction work completed by June of '88, so that the only construction work going on will be inside the mall.
Would that be just, say, one part of the mall?
Probably the eastern portion of the mall, the portion that we're looking at right behind us, may be open by June, will be targeted for June of 1988.
On March 1st, the city of Forest Park welcomed America's first supermall, the Forest Fair Mall. This $200 million project sits on 116 acres and will eventually employ some 4,000 persons in this major project. The major tenants of Forest Fair Mall include B. Altman's, a full-line classic and traditional department store; Bonwit Teller, a fashion specialty store for men and women; Parisian, a specialty store for men, women, and children; Biggs, a hypermarket featuring a wide variety of products, including groceries, hardware, clothing, and electronics; and Elder Beerman, a full-line department store. Forest Fair Mall also features a full entertainment complex with a food court, 8 movie theaters, an 18-hole miniature golf course, a carousel, bumper cars, and children's rides.
B. Altman, Bonwit Teller, and Sakowitz Stores' total liquidation going out of business sale at Forest Fair Mall is in its final weeks. Everything in each store is now at or near wholesale, and now save 40% on everything. Nothing can be held back. Everything must be sold to the bare walls. Don't wait. Save 40% on everything at B. Altman, Bonwit Teller, and Sakowitz going out of business sale before its history. All 3 stores in one location, Forest Fair Mall.
In business news, a new attempt to revitalize a troubled local mall is taking effect. Valerie Miller's live at our Butler Warren newsroom with what's next for Cincinnati Mall. Val?
Catherine, whether it's checking into the boards or that favorite double let's move in figure skating, fans of the ice will now have a new place to hit the ice. Cincinnati Mall is venturing into sports entertainment, and the latest attempt to overhaul the mall was in 2004 with discount shopping. The Journal News reports this morning Cincinnati Sports Zone has a new lease to use 180,000 square feet in the old Biggs location. The complex will offer 3 ice rinks for hockey, figure skating, or recreational skating. Plans also include a restaurant and sports bar, and construction is set to begin in January with completion in the late summer. The mall also is working on leases for several other new tenants to come in early 2012. Catherine.
Hey everyone, this is Jack Thomas from deadmalls.com, here to talk about the history of the Forest Fair Mall, also known over the years as Cincinnati Mills, Cincinnati Mall, and most recently Forest Fair Village. Anthony had asked if I would provide some audio commentary, and I am happy to collaborate with him for this video. This mall is by far one of the best examples of a dead mall out there today that is still open to the public, and it has a very long and tumultuous history. Let's get into it. The mall was troubled right from the start. It was developed in 1986 by Australian-based developers L.J. Hooker. The mall was to be named Forest Fair Mall for the neighboring towns of Forest Park and Fairfield, Ohio, where the mall resides. After original plans to make the mall into a mid-market super-regional center didn't pan out, they decided on a new angle, attracting stores that were not from the area and foreign to most residents, making the mall an upscale shopping center in the process. Hooker wanted to lure stores such as B. Altman, Bonwit Teller, and other high-end chains to the property. When these companies balked at opening there, Hooker bought them out directly. Not having any experience in department store operation, no planning was done to ensure that these companies would even be able to perform well in the market, if at all. The if you build it, they will come mentality was in full swing. The mall's grand opening was split into two parts. Phase 1 of the mall opened in July 1988, featuring 30 or so stores and a Biggs hypermarket, which is basically a predecessor to Walmart's Supercenter concept. Phase 2 opened the following March, bringing 2 levels of shopping, anchors B. Altman and Bonwit Teller of New York City, Elder Bierman of Dayton, Ohio, Parisian of Birmingham, Alabama, and secondary anchor Sakowitz of Houston, Texas. Also part of the mall was an 8-screen movie theater, as well as a 2-level amusement park called Time Out on the Court, featuring a Ferris wheel, miniature golf, a carousel, and many other entertaining rides and attractions. Not long after opening, the mall fell on hard times. The mall was open fairly close to existing malls in the area, ones which were already well established to the shopping public. The remodeling and expansion of the nearby Kenwood Town Center also hurt the mall. As mentioned before, shoppers did not want to spend money at high-end retailers they had never heard of before. As a result, the mall lost money, and in turn, so did Hooker Development. Hooker filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 1989 and faced $1.7 billion in debt due to the loss of money from not only the mall's overblown construction costs, but also the ownership and controlling interest of 4 different department store chains, all of which were losing money. B. Altman, Bonwit Teller, and Sakowitz all closed up at the mall by 1990, with all 3 chains succumbing to closure or buyouts. Parisian, who had escaped the proverbial bloodbath of Hooker's ownership the year prior, turned around from its troubles. They, along with Biggs and Elder Bierman, continued on at the mall, but it was otherwise a failure. The mall was purchased by lenders who turned the mall around through the 90s. More budget-friendly stores were found. Kohl's took over the B. Altman space, and an entertainment complex opened in the former Bonwit Teller due to the Time Out on the Court having closed up. The mall was sold to Gator Investments of Florida in 1996. CompUSA and Steinmart all came to the mall around this time. Things seemed to go in fits and starts from this point on. Parisian finally closed in 1998, and CompUSA left as quickly as it came, becoming Guitar Center. The turn of the century brought Bass Pro Shops to the old Parisian space, as well as Media Play, Burlington Coat Factory, and Saks Off 5th Outlet. A smaller kiddie area opened up to replace the long-closed Time Out on the Court, and Steve & Barry's opened up as well. The last improvement on Gator's agenda was the reopening of the food court, which had closed previously due to a fire. That was completed in 2001. Showcase Cinemas was also brought to the complex at this time, joining the existing 8-screen theater, which by now was running as a budget theater. By September of 2002, the mall was doing quite well. Enter the Mills Corporation, who decided to close the entire mall, save for the anchors, and embark on a remodeling project replacing the floors, a new paint job, video screens, and outlet stores that the company was known for putting in their malls. 2 years and $70 million later, the mall reopened, now by the name of Cincinnati Mills. Elder Bierman closed while all this was going on, but the mall gained anchor Johnny's Toys, and Steve & Barry's opened up a bigger store to replace their smaller location elsewhere in the mall. Mills had hoped that their outlet mall concept would take off as it had in many of their other properties, but it was simply not the case. The mall was seen as too gaudy and lacking in shopping options. What kept the mall from succeeding initially was the fact that it was too high-end. Now the pendulum swung too far in the other direction. Mills itself was purchased by Simon Property Group in 2007, and they had no intention of keeping this 1.4 million square foot dinosaur on their hands. With only 60 or so stores open with room for over 200, the mall was fading fast. Guitar Center, Saks Off 5th, Media Play, Stephen Barry's, and the Showcase Cinemas were all gone by the mid-2000s. 2008 saw the departure of Biggs. After Simon's ownership, the mall was sold to North Star Realty and the name was changed once again to Cincinnati Mall. They did nothing to turn the mall's fortunes around, and it simply limped along. Floral Park, New York-based World Properties Incorporated bought the mall in 2010 with plans to turn the property over to a mixed-use operation. The name of the center was changed once again to Forest Fair Village, although all signage still sports the Cincinnati Mall name. Nowadays, the mall sits virtually empty. Bass Pro Shops, Kohl's, Babies R Us, and a sporadically open video arcade are the only tenants left. The hallways are eerily quiet, and the food court is empty. Maintenance has been non-existent, with holes in the ceiling in several spots, dirty shut-off escalators, and parts of the food court floor buckling in spots. For all intents and purposes, the mall should not even be open. No small stores exist, no security seems to be around, and the only company you'll have besides random people walking through or sleeping on a bench would be a couple maintenance workers passing the day away cleaning a mall that welcomes no one. The future is in doubt, and if Bass Pro Shops decides to leave, I cannot see this place surviving much longer.
Hi everyone, this is Anthony with Aces Adventures. I want to thank Jack Thomas from deadmalls.com for his commentary and his contribution on this project. This is the mall that I have wanted to see, and it has been at the top of my list ever since I started getting into the dead mall genre on YouTube. Surely not the most aesthetically driven mall that there is, and it is surely one of the biggest, but this mall, just something about it and just how massive it is and just how dead it is just a feeling that I cannot describe. I'm surely not the best, I'm surely not the worst, I'm not the first, and I'm not the last, but I try to put out the best possible content that I can for you guys, and hopefully that you enjoy my work. We're at 8,000 subscribers and growing organically as a channel, and I never thought that it would get to this point. Without you, the subscribers, I would never be where I am today. Thank you so much for watching these videos as we continue to watch the decline of the retail sector in America. This is Anthony with Ace's Adventures. There's more Dead Mall content coming soon. Please share and subscribe. Everybody have a good weekend, and we'll be back soon with more Dead Mall Adventures.